Hello and welcome to a new video tutorial about automation and spreadsheets in Practical Sheets. Today we're going to talk about adding, but not just any adding. We're going to add numbers that are hidden within text. Let me show you. For instance, we can have a list such as this one where we have text and numbers. We're going to find a formula to extract these numbers and add them up. Also, you could have several numbers in the same cell and you want to take out these numbers and add them up. Also, you could have a list that has numbers that are part of the text, for example, product 1, product 2, product 3. And on top of that, you could also have numbers that are the ones you're going to have to add up. So we're going to see all of these cases and hopefully it can be useful to you. Before we begin, let me invite you to practicalsheets.com and to the Patreon page where you can download more than 200 templates, including this one, and you can ask me anything inside there. Without further ado, just thanking all of my patrons, let's begin. So let's see the first case. I have a list that has texts and has numbers. We want to add all these numbers, so we need to do this step by step. So the first step I need is to extract the numbers. There are several ways of doing it. The easiest way for me is to use the REGEXEXTRACT formula or function. So let's do this. Maybe just a bit more of zoom. And we're going to use the REGEXEXTRACT function. This needs two inputs. The first one is the text. So we're going to start with 1 and then we're going to expand this to a table. So we're going to choose this cell, then hit comma, and the second argument will be a regular expression. There are several videos just on regular expressions. We can do that in the channel if you'd want, but not to get too much into it. What I need to extract is a number, any number. To extract a number, we're going to use this inverted slash and the letter D. Close quotation, close parentheses, hit enter. I'm not going to accept the suggestion, just do 1, okay? Perfect. It may work. Let's drag it down to see if it works. So apparently it works. If I change this to 7, it continues to work. However, when I have more than one number, it won't work. I need to modify my regular expression, just adding the plus sign. This means that extract any chain of numbers, one after the others. If I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 377, as long as they're one after the other, it will work. So let's drag it down and let's try it out with a bigger number here. So it works perfectly. Now I just need to add all of these up. So there are a number of ways we could do it. I'm going to insert a column here. And the easiest way would be just to sum it up. So I could sum all of this column, but it's not adding up. Why? Because this is not a number. Even though it seems like a number, the type of data, it's a text. So I need to transform this into a number. How do I do it? The easiest way is to use the value function. However, there are many other ways we could do this, just multiplying by 1 or things like that. So value, it's a thing that may work. I'm going to drag it down and now I have my adding form. But I don't want to have this additional column. So what I could do is to somehow add all of this inside my sum. There are a couple of ways we could do it. We could use the array formula. We could use the lambda plus map. So let's try it that way. I'm going to insert a new column and we're going to do what we did, dragging down, but using only one formula. And again, we could do this with array formula, but I prefer to use the map plus lambda functions. It's a bit more complex if you've never used them, but it's much more flexible. Okay, so I'm going to copy this and I'm going to start writing a new formula. The formula will be the following. We're going to do map. What map does is it takes a table or a group, a range of cells, and it applies a certain formula, a customized formula, we're going to create to each of one of those cells. That's it. So for now, the range we're going to use is this one, A1 to A4. Let's hit comma. And now to create the custom formula or custom function, we're going to use the lambda function. We always need to use the lambda function. So map and lambda are cousins, are brothers. They always need to go together. Map plus lambda. There are other functions we could use with lambda, such as by row, reduce, and scan, and much more that we could take a look in other videos. So the lambda function is basically the function we already have, the REGEXEXTRACT function. However, we need to add just one thing. So lambda, the first thing you need to give lambda is the name of a variable. So it could be any name. So for now, let's just call this text. I like to do it on lowercase letters so that we differentiate from the functions. It's just a reading thing. So we do text, txt, but again, you could call it however you want. And then we're going to paste the REGEXTRACT function. So let's paste it here. The value REGEXEXTRACT without the equal sign. And instead of A1, we're going to use the variable we just declared, txt. And that's it. Just hit enter and Sheets will automatically close the parentheses we're missing. And now we have the same thing we had here, but with only one formula. If you go down, you see no formulas because all of the formulas are contained within one cell. And now we can do the sum. Instead of summing B, we can sum C, but not to repeat ourselves, we can just take all of these and insert it inside our sum. So that's it. We don't need these two columns. However, I'm going to leave them hidden. If you are in the Patreon page, then you can take a look if you want to see all the process. But you just need one formula. Sum, then map, then lambda, then our REGEXEXTRACT inside our value. Okay? This is point number one. We could then add this to a custom formula or a named formula so you can easily reuse this. So for this, we can go to data, named functions. We're going to create a new function. Sorry, not import. Add a new function. And this function will be called adding texts. And let's give it here practical sheets, just free publicity. We can add the function description saying adds any member found hidden within text. Something like that. And we can put our placeholders. The only placeholder we're going to need actually is just the range. So let's call this range. Add our variable. And here we're going to paste all of this formula. Let's copy it and paste it here. And instead of A1, A4, we're going to use range. That's it. Let's hit next. And in range, we could say range of values to be added. And in example will be A2 to A24. You can imagine that now you don't need it to be A1, A4. It could be any range you want. Create. And now we have it. Let's try it out. Let's do equals PS adding texts. And the only thing you're going to need is just the range. Actually, we're going to leave it open. Enter. And I have one problem. So if I leave it just to A4, it will work. It won't work when I have spaces. So what we could do is go back to our function. Actually, we could have tried it before. If I go A7, we have the error. What I could do is to place an if error. If REGEXEXTRACT gives an error or this all value returns an error, we can replace it by 0. So we could use the if error function 0, and that's it. And now it works. And I'm going to copy all of these, go back to my function, change my formula, change this for range again, next, update, hit enter. And now if I leave this open, like I did before, it is working. One thing we could add in a more advanced version of the formula is that you could also add numbers. It could be added as with an if you like, but for now it will only work when there is text. Okay, this one's case number one. Case number two, we also have numbers, but now we have two numbers, the number we want to add and other numbers. So this is just another case to show you. It's a more specific case in which you have to customize your regular expression. So I'm going to take all of these that I know it already works. I'm going to copy this and paste it here. And my map will be G1 up to G3 or G7. And now it's adding, but it's adding things I don't understand. It's just adding 1, 2, and 3. But what I wanted to add is 24, 36, and 54 because it's adding the first number it finds. So there are two ways we could do this. The first one is knowing that always the number will be at the end. We could replace this very, very simple just with a currency symbol. It means that it ends with a number. Okay. So here it's adding 24 plus 36 plus 54 because it's looking for the numbers that are at the end of a chain. So this is the easiest way. Another is to construct different regular expressions. For example, I could say, hey, find the first number you find, look for the first number you'll find. Then you're going to look for this specific chain that is equals, space minus space, and then you're going to find another number, another digit. Okay, and we can remove this $sign and let's hit enter. Okay, it's not finding anything because it's trying to add something with minus on it. So what I could do is say, you know what, I need to find this pattern that is number, space, minus, space, and number, but the only thing I need you to bring home is the last number. So this is why I put it inside parentheses. Let's hit enter. And now it's adding, but I forgot the plus because it's just adding the last number, 4 plus 6 plus 4. So I'm going to do the plus and now it's working. Okay, so two ways of doing it. Actually, I'm going to leave both of those ways. I'm going to leave the other one here. I think it's a bit more elegant. And it's the same. Okay, finally, to end up, we have numbers inside the same cell. So I want to add, now I don't have it in separate cells, but in the same cell. So how could we do this? We could do it very similar to what we did before, but we need to add an additional step. And the additional step is the function split. So let's do equals split. We'll take this one and comma. And inside quotation marks, we're going to put another comma. And now I have John, Maria, and Helen. And now I need to apply to each of these the regex expression we did before. So let's try to do it again. Regex extract. And from each of these, we are going to extract just the numbers plus, so I could extract 1, 2, 3, or 4 digits, or however many digits there are. I close my parentheses. And now the thing is, this is regex extract. It's a unidimensional formula. This means it's only doing John, but it's not, it's hiding Maria and Helen. For this, I need to do the map we've already done before. So we already are very good at this. So we're going to do map. Now the split won't be inside my regex extract, but it will be, I'm going to cut it and put it inside my map. So this split is generating an array of a range of 3 elements in this case. John 5, Maria 10, Helen 20. Now I'm going to take each of these elements, this is what map does, and we're going to apply a lambda function. So to each element, let's call it again text. I'm going to do REGEXEXTRACT to each text. Let's close the parentheses, let's hit enter, and now I have 5, 10, and 20. And now the only thing left is to sum it up. Remember that this won't work because I'm trying to add text. So remember, I need to do the value, enclose my REGEXEXTRACT inside a value function. Let's hit enter, and now I have my 35. Finally, we're going to copy all of this formula, go to data, name functions, create a new function. It will be practical sheets, adding values in cell, adds the values in a comma separated list inside a cell. Here, again, the only thing I need is the cell. This works only in one cell. I need to drag it down. I've tried to also have two multiple cells, but it's a bit more tricky, but we could do it in the future if you like. So let's do the cell. And in my formula definition, let's hit enter. And in my formula definition, let's paste it. And instead of K1, we're going to replace this by cell. Let's hit next. And argument description, cell with a comma separated list with values. Maybe this is not exactly how you have it, but you could change. Maybe it's not comma, it's a colon, it's a minus sign, but you could just customize it to your needs. And in the cell, we could put A1 as an example. Let's hit create and let's try it out. PS, adding values in cell, and we're going to select this cell. Let's hit enter, and I have my 35. And if I have another space, this let's change it to 54, and this is another name, Mark 3, 2, and Lauren 200. Let's do the PS adding values in cell. This is my cell. Let's hit enter, and I have it there. Okay, so I hope this is useful for you. You have the if you are in the Patreon page, you can download this and you can import the function so you can use it in any other sheet you want. Thank you so much, particularly to my Patreons, and see you next time.